This is a learning activity I designed for teaching students about writing English correctly and being able to recognise errors in written text. My particular activity will be on subject-verb agreement, but can actually be done for basically any set of vocabulary or grammar points to be learned. The students will be discussing vocabulary learning strategies, reading and writing strategies, such as in this part, word and sentence construction, or even paragraph formation, strategies for genre writing, for example, narrative genre, comparatives, or argumentative text. The teacher can modify this activity depending upon the needs and the current capabilities of their students. In preparation of this activity, the teacher finds and supplies appropriate websites, apps or books such as monolingual English dictionaries and thesauruses for use by the students, or even a translation dictionary, which in this point would be a Thai English dictionary. Alternatively, the teacher can use prepared documents of words, with definitions and examples of these words. They may be paper-based, using text or text and pictures. They may even be multimedia-based, using text and pictures, such as still video pictures, still photographs, or video with or without sound. And the teacher collates this word list for the students to work with, source from either the teacher's knowledge of the student's needs or internet lists, such as can be seen here, of top 50 common verbs, or irregular verbs, or even auxiliary verbs. Or the teacher can elicit the words to be used from the students themselves directly. The areas of English language can be used. They include word classes, considered problematic for students, example, nouns, plural nouns, singular nouns, pronouns, verbs, auxiliary verbs, etc. May even be on writing or grammar points, which can be considered problematic for the students. For example, tense or time, past, or present or future time, or even like in this activity, the subject-verb agreement, or articles, adjective ordering, affixes, punctuation, collocations, or prepositional phrases, etc. May even include topical vocabulary, for example, situation vocabulary to do with holidays or food, at home, at school, or out shopping, or on the student's own academic study area, for example, medicine, engineering, accounting, or science writing. These four links here, for example, engineering terms, have lists of engineering terms that are commonly used, or hospital admissions terms, accounting terms, or science writing terms. Before the beginning of the activity, we have a warm-up, pre-activity warm-up, where the teacher explains to the students what the goal is of the lesson. For example, they'd be investigating vocabulary learning strategies. And the teacher elicits from the subjects a sentence. For example, the sentence in black. The students may give the sentence correctly or incorrectly, but the teacher should write it incorrectly on the board. For example, Tanapat, read a book. And then elicits the correct version of what is wrong with the sentence. As in, the subject and verb do not agree. And the teacher then elicits from the students the correct version, and the teacher then writes this down on the board. Tanapat reads a book. Continuation of this, the teacher then can elicit more students, elicit from the students more sentences to be used as examples on the board. The teacher, no matter what, writes them incorrectly and elicits the correct form from the students before, and they discuss why they are right or wrong. And then we have the writing activity procedure. Step 1, which for example can take 15 to 20 minutes. The time is variable, it's up to your students' capabilities. The teacher hands out the previously prepared word list. Each set of word lists contains 20 nouns and 20 verbs, and the students in pairs then choose 5 words from each list. The students must then make 5 sentences, each using a noun and a verb combination. No word can be used twice, so they come out with 5 sentences. All their 10 words, 5 nouns, 5 verbs have been used. Step 2. Again, the time is variable. For example, can take 10 to 15 minutes. The students can exchange their papers with their partners and then, using a different colour pen, proceed to try and correct any errors their partner had made in their sentences. When the students think that the sentences are correct, they write the sentences out fully below the original. And the students then discuss in pairs what they thought were errors in each other's writing and why they were errors. Next, step 3, again, the time is variable, for example, 10 to 15 minutes. The students in pairs then exchange their papers with a different pair of students. These students then read the new sentences together. If students find any errors, they write the correct sentence below the last. These papers then pass back to the first pair of students, and in groups of 4, both pairs of students discuss what they thought were errors and why each sentence was an error. Each incorrect sentence was an error, and which error it was. The last step, time taken can be 5 to 10 minutes, it will end. And again, one of the students. The students report back to the teacher what errors they found, and if any errors were more prevalent than others. The students can discuss using any dictionary use, and the thesauruses which were available. And they can think about which words or meanings were difficult. And the teacher then asks the students to think of ways that they can learn the vocabulary which they've been investigating, and writes on the board the various methods that the students mentioned. As a group, the students and teachers discuss which methods might be preferred and why they think these papers might be preferred. This is an example of the writing activity paper after 4 goes around. The first is the sentence is spelt wrong and the wrong subject-verb agreement. The second sentence is spelt wrong but with the correct subject-verb agreement. The third sentence has been spelt correctly. The machine broke down yesterday. Again, in this sentence here, Pantet Plaza have many stores is wrong. Correct sentence, Pantet Plaza has many stores, written by the second student. And the third sentence, for example, the road have flooding in front of my house. Wrong. Next student tries to correct it. The road have flooding in front of my house. Realises the preposition needs to be there. Not preposition, of needs to be there. This prepositional phrase is incorrect. The third student writes down, the road is flooded in front of my house. Almost correct, but the fourth student gets it completely correct. The road is flooded in front of my house, as an example. And all different, using different colours. And after this activity, the students the teachers should get the students to try any methods of the vocabulary learning skills that they've investigated and been using for over the next week. In the beginning of next week's class, the students are given a paper, again with 5 sentences, but this time they're written without correct noun-verb agreements. And these words can be sourced from the week before. The students then correct them. The time should be taken 10 minutes at the most, they should be working fast. The teacher then elicits these correct sentences from the students and writes them on the board. The students check their papers for errors. And the students, again, in a whole class, they discuss their feelings about the vocabulary learning methods, which they thought were successful and which they thought were not. Again, this can be taken 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you for consideration.